Hi guys.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine. I think my camera doesn't work again.
Oh no. All right.
Sorry.
That's not a problem. We can work with that. Okay. All right. So have you guys done your practicing?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. So let's see if there's some improvements on last time. All right. If everyone's ready, I will begin. Okay, Hongyan, you can bring in your reading.
On June 26, 2015, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that gay marriage is a right protected by the U.S. Constitution in all 50 states. Prior to their decision, same-sex marriage was already legal in 37 states and Washington, D.C., but was banned in the remaining 13. U.S. public opinion had shifted significantly over the years, from 20% approval of gay marriage in 1996 to 60% in 2015. According to Gallup, proponents of legal gay marriage contend that gay marriage bans are discriminatory and unconstitutional, and that same-sex couples should have access to all the benefits enjoyed by different-sex couples. Opponents contend that marriage has traditionally been defined as being between one man and one woman, and that marriage is primarily for procreation.
Okay, very good. All right, we'll go on to the next person now. Jihu. Jihu, you can do your reading now. Jihu, I can't seem to hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. Hello?
Okay.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Can you try doing your reading? And if you cut out, I'll ask you to stop and you can try and go and fix your internet. If you cannot fix it by the end of the session, then yeah, because I cannot judge how well you speak if I cannot hear you through the connection. Okay, let me just send the message. Okay, for now, we will skip Jihu and go to Jie. Okay. So I'll just...
Gay
Yes?
marriage is defined. Can I start now?
Yes, give it 1 second. Sorry, I was just getting the system moving. Okay, yes, now you can.
Gay marriage is defined as two males marrying each other, also called as homosexual or same-sex marriage. That might sound exotic or even insane to others, but I do not think so. The reasons are that we should not judge the likes of others, and we do not have to live under such pressure and opinions of other people. First, gays have their own likes and dislikes, so we must not judge them as in right or wrong. They must not feel guilty or even sorry for marrying the same male gender or even liking them. This does not only count for gay marriages, lesbian marriages also need to be respected and understood. Gays have their own rights and decisions to marrying the same gender, therefore, it should be accepted and counted as legal. Gays are not gays because they want to become one. They might be partly driven by a mother's immune response to her male fetus, which increases with each son she has. Not only us, but the government should consider themselves in the perspectives of homosexual people, also understood as gays and lesbians, to understand more on their characters. Gays have their own civil rights and human rights to marry the same sex, and a fact is that actually many of the countries accept gay marriage as legal. When it is their own rights to marry a same gender, then why intercept and make their lives harder when it is hard enough for them? Next, we must not live under a world where there is so much stress and pressure going around, so we have strong stereotypes that one gender should marry another gender. Some countries that legalize gay marriages are the UK, US, as in all 50 states, Australia, Canada, France, and many more. Gay marriages might not be accepted in the society, but some reasons might also include religious cultures and beliefs. We need to accept and take in the thoughts and acts of others instead of ignoring and not understanding them. This gives so much pressure to gays when they become excluded in society because of their homosexuality. They might also get into depression. Self love has very little to do with how you feel about your outer self. It's about accepting all of yourself. Tyra Banks, an American television personality, quoted, "This quote shares to own pride in ourselves. Homosexual people should not be shy and ashamed of themselves. They should love themselves without exceptions, for every person deserves respect and acceptance. We do not have to live in such a regulated world. Therefore, gay marriage should be legal in my opinion." Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that one. Okay, we shall move on to Yunsung. Yunsung, are you there?
Oh, my screen just froze.
No problem. Your camera is also frozen. Or it's black.
My screen froze.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but the other people's screen just froze.
Okay, so are you talking about the Ditizen screen?
No, like everyone's face just froze except mine.
Okay, so your face is black right now. Can you close your Discord and then rejoin the call? I'll give you a couple minutes to do that.
How about mine?
Okay.
Oh, hi, Jihu.
Hi.
Yes, I think yeah, you're good right now. We'll come back to you after everyone's. So what we'll do is we'll wait until Yunsung and Hongyun have done their part in a minute, and then when you have to do your debate, you will start with your reading and then your debate. Can you do that? Okay. For now, we'll just wait on Yun Sung
Hello?
to. Hello.
Can I just like do my voice only without putting
Of
my
course.
camera on?
Of course. You don't have any other issues, right? You can
Okay.
still look at your notes and stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay. No problem. Okay, you can start.
Can I start?
Yes, you can start.
Full legal rights and responsibilities allotted to this correct contract in a given jurisdiction. Legally defined marriage of homosexual couples is limited to a minority of jurisdictions at this time. More common is a civil union, which includes many of the all-important legal trappings without the title marriage, and the religious overtones some think are implied by the word. I strongly believe that gay marriage should not be allowed. Rather, it is a common sense reflection of the fact that homosexual relationships do not result in birth of children or establish households where children will be or where a child will be raised by its birth mother and father. To add, gay marriage may annoy the traditional families. I personally think that marriage should not be allowed because I think that gay marriage is wrong in a way because males and females have different body parts and each has a purpose why it was made like that. Girls who are raised apart from their fathers are reportedly at higher risk for early sexual activity and teenage pregnancy. Children without a mother are deprived of the emotional security and unique advice that mothers provide. A 2012 study by Mark Regnerus, PhD Associate Professor of Sociology at the University of Texas at Austin, found that children raised by parents who had same-sex relationships suffered more difficulties in life, including sexual abuse and unemployment in later life, than children raised by intact biological families. Doug Mainwaring, the openly gay co-founder of National Capital Tea Party Patriots, stated that it became increasingly apparent to me, even if I found somebody else exactly like me who loved my kids as much as I do, there would still be a gaping hole in their lives because they need a mom. I don't want to see children being engineered for same-sex couples where there's either a mom missing or a dad missing. For people who are really religious are against this idea because Bible said that gay marriage should not be allowed. Marriage was supposed to be between a woman and a man. They were not supposed to be the same gender. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. You hit a good time limit as well, even though you couldn't see it. All right. So next, we'll go back to Hong Yun. You can begin now.
I believe that gay marriage should be illegal. Firstly, gay marriage provides both physical and psychological health benefits, and banning gay marriage increases rate of psychological disorders. The American Psychological Association, American Psychiatric Association, and others stated that by allowing same-sex couples to marry would give them access to the social support that already facilitates and strengthens heterosexual marriages. With all of the psychological and physical health benefits associated with that support. In addition, everyone should have a freedom to choose who to marry with, and I believe that the law should not stop them from choosing who to marry. If two people love each other and want to get married, they should be allowed to do so, regardless of their religion, nationality, or sex of their partner. When governments interfere in the private lives of people, dictating who can marry who, individual freedoms are compromised with possibly dangerous suggestions. Also, there will be no effect on the heterosexual community if gay marriage are legal. Gay marriage will grant the LGBT, lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community a right that has been immorally denied to them. Lastly, legalizing gay marriage will help establish a social norm that includes and respects homosexual lifestyles. Couples as well as individuals in the LGBT community will seem less different from heterosexual lifestyle. In conclusion, I believe that gay marriage should be legalized by the law. Thank you.
Thank you. Good. Okay, so Jihu, what we'll do is I will pause it on your part for while you do your reading, and then after it, you can either lead it straight into your debate, or you can take a little pause, a little 5-10 second pause, and then go into your debate. Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
can
so-
I turn off my camera?
Yes, if it helps your connection, yes. Okay. You can begin whenever you feel
So I'll
ready.
start with my writing, right?
The reading, yes.
Yeah, reading.
Okay, go ahead.
Wait, do I start with the reading?
Yes, the reading, and then after you've done your, because that was what you missed out, and then do your debate. Did you get that?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now.
On June 26, 2015, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that gay marriage is a right protected by the U.S. Constitution in all 50 states. Prior to their decision, same-sex marriage was already legal in 37 states and Washington, D.C., but was banned in the remaining 13. U.S. public opinion had shifted significantly over the years from 27% approval of gay marriage in 1996 to 60% in 2015, according to Gallup. Proponents of legal gay marriage contend that gay marriage bans are discriminatory and unconstitutional, and that same-sex couples should have access to all the benefits enjoyed by different-sex couples. Opponents contend that marriage has traditionally been defined as being between one man and one woman, and that marriage is primarily for procreation.
Okay, so now you can begin your debate.
I strongly believe that gay marriage should be illegal. I have few reasons to support my answer. Firstly, it has been a long tradition that marriage is between a man and a woman. Judge Jeffrey S. Sutton wrote that marriage has long been a social institution defined by relationships between men and women. So long defined, the tradition is measured in millennia, not centuries or decades. So widely shared, the tradition until recently had been adopted by all governments and major religions of the world. Also, marriage is for procreation, but if same-sex couples are allowed to be married, they wouldn't be able to produce child. Allowing gay marriage would only just leave the purpose of marriage, which is producing and raising a child. A California Supreme Court ruling from 1859 said that the first purpose of matrimony by the laws of nature and society is procreation. Same-sex couples can never provide a child with both a biological mother and a father. Next, it is that children are in need of both a mother and a father. According to researchers, it is shown that usually girls who are raised without their father start sexual activities earlier and are also at risk for teenage pregnancy. Children who live apart with a mother are weak at emotional security and advices that mother provide. A study by an associate professor of sociology at the University of Texas called Mark Regnerus found that children raised by same-sex parents suffered more difficulties in life than children who were raised by intact biological families. Also, children will learn that homosexuality is equivalent to heterosexuality, as they have no ways to know and be raised by a mother and a father. Moreover, gay marriage increases economic inequality by maintaining a system which makes married beings more worthy of the basics like healthcare and economic rights. Furthermore, many religious groups do not support on gay marriage, as it is in contrary to the God's word. A few main churches of USA all opposes on gay marriage being legalized, and also mainstream Islam. Therefore, with these reasons, I think that gay marriage should not be legal.
Okay, very good. Good timing. You ended perfectly. And now we shall bring it over to Jie for the first conclusion.
To conclude, I do think that gay marriage should be legal in all countries, where we should accept differences and we should not live in an environment and surrounding where there are stereotypes in marriages and regulations are dominant even in personal choices and acts. From my opinions, I would like to strongly and definitely present my ideas that agree on legalization to gay marriage. It is not because gays want to become gays, it's just that they were born with the character and personality to do so. So we should not ignore them and try not understanding them. Instead, we should care about them and respect their lives and how they act. Thank you.
Okay. And Yunsung?
To conclude, gay marriage should not be allowed because it is breaking the law of nature, and also it can affect the life of the children of the gay parents, such as making the children have early sexual activities and teenage pregnancy because of the moral collapse. If teenagers are pregnant, it will be very painful for them and their family members. The children may also don't get the advices usual moms give, such as how to handle puberty. To end up this debate, gay marriage should be abandoned from this world for reasons that are undeniable. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So, very good, guys. After we finally got Jihu back, it was a pretty smooth sailing. Yunsung, have you fixed your Discord now?
Yes.
Okay. So, give you guys some feedback. Jie,
Yes.
so you had a really good set of arguments that you used. Your speech is very good. You are really focusing on your pronunciation, I can notice. Try not to overemphasize it too much, but so it sounds more natural. Sometimes I think you really put emphasis on the end of your T's and D's, and those strong those strong endings to a word is called a plosive. If you use too many plosives, your voice can sound it can be quite strong to the user, and sometimes you just all you want to do is, so say if you're saying the word speed, it's a softer D, then don't put it like a more of a stronger D. You know what I mean when I say this? Yeah, but your speech is really good, really good. Just don't think too hard and long about it. Just speak quite naturally. You had used some scientific knowledge, which is great, because you can argue with science if there's some facts in there. And yeah, your speech throughout is very consistent. You never really change your the way you speak, which is good, because if you start mixing things up, it can sound a bit off for the listener. And your one word that you said a lot, and it's in the title, you were pronouncing slightly off. So the word is marriage, and you were pronouncing the I. If you pronounce the I, it sounds a bit straight, marriage. So the I is actually, imagine the I's not there, and it's just marriage. Okay? But very good debate. And your conclusion was very good. You used the previously stated arguments that you were putting forward, which is a solid conclusion. And I'll move over to Yunsung. This one was a good performance. You had some good facts for both sides of gay marriage. You didn't just target men. You also spoke about the effects of just two women being in a marriage, the effects on their children. Good use of the test done, which backs up with hard facts, so that all those research and scientific facts, they come and help and they really support your arguments. And your speech and pronunciation, as always, is very good. You have very clear speech, and your speed was much better than past weeks today. And the closure was great, and your time use was pretty good. You were really close to using up all those 3 minutes, which is perfect. And finally, your conclusion. Once again, a good conclusion. You rounded off all your points nicely by explaining it and backing it up with a little bit more of extra information, but it wasn't a negative thing. It was a good thing. All in all, really good. And
Thank you.
Jihu, since you had to do it all in one time, which was okay, because that can be quite helpful in your case, because your voice will be warmed up from the reading. Your reading was great, with good tone and smooth transitions between your sentences, which is good. You had a good introduction where you stated that this is how this debate is going to start. This is how it's going to lead out throughout. You had some you used some laws, which was good. It's a good point to point out when something is set in stone like a law. Good use of your research to back up those points. And you had a good wide range of vocabulary that you used, such as words like moreover, and therefore you used them in the time you used moreover was perfectly used, because that is how you would use that word to not just, you want to talk about something that's within the same topic as the sentence you mentioned before. So, but you also want to extend that knowledge. So using a word like moreover will make the listener understand that you're actually adding on to your previous sentence. Among that, you had a good closure as well. You're very good. And finally, Hongyun.
Yes.
So your reading was a lot smoother than last time. Really impressed with the improvement from last week.
Thank you.
The reading was very good. Your debate was really good. You had a good speed throughout. You didn't really have any mishaps throughout, which is good. Only very, very minor. I also really liked how you used the points that you put forward to show how their legality will affect the society of today. Using that brings the reader to, sorry, not the reader, the listener to understand what that sort of effect will happen and how it might affect them themselves. So for me as a listener, that was good.
Thank you.
And yeah, and a good closure on your debate. So do any of you have any questions?
No.
Do any of you no questions on the feedback?
No.
No.
Okay. So this one's a tough one because you all had really, really good debates. All your speeches were, there was no big mishaps this week from anyone. This is really good. I am thinking this week is going to go to the affirmative side.
Who's
Thank
the-
you. Okay, 우리야, 우리. 제.
Okay, thank you.
Did you not know you were the affirmative? Do you think you were the negative team?
I keep on messing up with my negative team because like when I was with Yun Sung, yeah.
Yeah, you guys were on the negative.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think what I'll do is I'll make it clear that I think Yun Sung will try and get you into a different position from that final spot on the negative team. So you can do some reading instead of concluding for next week. Does that sound okay? I'm not sure if you can hear me anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I think that's all for today. If you guys don't have any more questions. No? Okay, then
Yes.
everyone is dismissed.
Wait, what did you say again? What did you
Okay,
say again?
hi. I said that next week I will try and get to see if it's possible for you to move positions. So maybe you go and do the reading first instead of Jihu or something like that. And Jihu has to do a conclusion next week.
Conclusion.
Yeah. We'll I'm going to try and see if that's possible.
Okay, yay.
Because every week you've been doing a conclusion. So we need to see how good you are at reading and stuff like that.
Okay,
And Jihu, you need to do a conclusion.
okay.
Okay?
Yay. Yes.
All right. Okay, any more questions?
No.
No.
Okay, then